What's up guys, welcome back to another video, hope you're all doing well today and welcome to Dade City MX. This is a real life track replicated by Consuming Clouds in MX Bikes, and it's one that a bunch of you guys have been telling me to play on multiple streams. Every time I've done public lobbies, everyone's asking for it to be put up, and the only reason that I've hung off, well, stayed away from doing it for so long is because I don't like playing tracks for the first time in a stream just in case I ever do a video on them. So with everybody telling me to play it, kind of get the impression that it's quite a good one overall, so I will certainly be the judge of that today. Consuming Clouds has released a couple of tracks in this game, so this isn't his first go at things, so we'll definitely see how it is. And I am a little bit late to the party actually. I know that Mr. Papiti Warrior himself, Mr. Trojan, has done a video on this, and apparently it's a very good track to play with high erode. I'm not doing that in this video, I'm pretty sure I've only got the erode on one. But from the looks of it, if you are someone that likes the tracks to start off fairly flat and then degrade quite a lot as the riding and racing goes on, this could be the track for you. Now, there are 3 layouts of this track in total. There is what are called the whole track, which is what I'm on right now, big track, and then just I think the standard track as well. There's also a track that I don't think has any timing gates to it, which is essentially just like a turn track off in the distance. The reason that I'm gone for the whole track in this video is because, as you can see, it takes a little bit of a detour through this little sandy section out the back, and it just encompasses the most of the area as a whole. So rather than me having to go and switch back between multiple versions, possibly riding over the same thing over and over again, it seems like this is the way to go if you want to just do everything in one big lap. I mean, looking up at the track map in the top right, it looks like quite a long one, quite a lengthy one, and I thought I'd kind of turn the CCs down a little bit today. We're on the Honda 250 rather than my standard Yamaha 450, and I suppose the reason being of it really is that today I completed or done a race on TFC's Lakewood from his outdoor pack. It was a Father Dean series race, and originally I thought that it was going to be a 450, well, I thought it was going to be open class, so I thought it was going to be 450 and 250, so I thought it could come in handy for the upcoming outdoor season, just like a good bit of practice. I only found out a couple hours before the race was meant to start that it was a 250 only series, and I thought I'd already scheduled the live stream by then, there's no point in me bailing out on it now, so I just committed to it, done a 250 race. I got absolutely waxed by Cam. I got my cheeks handed to me. That boy is very, very fast on the 250, I'll give him that. So best of luck to everybody else competing in the European 250 class. I think it's probably going to end up being a big battle between Cam and Finn, I want to say. I think those two are probably going to be the main 2 competitors for that championship. It's going to be quite fun to watch. I don't know the exact kind of structure of the day in terms of outdoors. I can't remember what we done last year, if it went 250, 450, 250, 450 in terms of motos and we had to wait in between, or if they just run them all at the same time. Personally, it doesn't bother me too much. The break in between is quite nice. The only thing that I worry about sometimes is trying to keep you guys entertained on stream, and in the past I've felt quite guilty about going and watching the other streamers' perspectives. Like, for example, Narvo streams a lot of the NA races from a commentator's perspective, Reaperdoc streams a lot of the EU stuff, and I always felt guilty in the past of just streaming their stream, essentially. I feel like it's taken away from potential viewers that they could have, but I've started doing it towards the back end of this Supercross season that we just completed, watching the 250 mains whilst waiting for the 451, and they seem okay with it. I don't even know if they know I'm doing it, to be fair. I've not genuinely asked the question, but I think I might try and do that again for outdoors. It keeps you guys busy and entertained, and in a way it kind of ends up being a little bit of a watch party, because we got those streamers' reactions to the racing as well as my reactions to the racing at the same time, and I genuinely do like watching other people play this game. I mean, when you've got 2,200 hours like me, sometimes it's quite nice to just take a little bit of a step back, you know, and watch other people do it rather than doing it all yourself, and it does break up the night quite nicely. I'm guessing it's going to be a similar format to Supercross in that the track will release 30 minutes before qualifying starts, so you get 30 minutes by yourself to kind of work out the lines. Qualifying servers open, you get I think another 10 minutes to practice in that server, and then 20 minutes of actual qualifying time. I feel like that 20 minutes might change. I've not had that in writing at all, but in my brain, it kind of makes the most sense, because Supercross tracks that are under a minute long are one thing, but when you've got outdoors tracks that quite more often than not end up being more than 2 minutes long, I feel like 20 minutes isn't really enough to have a few good solid attempts. I feel like maybe half an hour, 30 minutes of qualifying could be better, but we'll see. It's all up in the air for now. We'll have a look. Let's get back to this track a little bit. Actually, this is such a wide open track. It's unreal. I don't think a 450 would have been unrideable around here. I just know that a lot of these jumps I'm actually checking up for on the 250. So throw a 450 in the mix, I think it might just be a little bit of overkill. But I can see why a lot of you guys have suggested this for me, because it's kind of really dawned on me recently that not everybody sees the game in the same way I see it. I know that sounds like a stupid thing to say because it's obvious, but it's very hard to get kind of like tunnel vision and only see things from your own perspective sometimes. Because I look at the game as I want to play on super difficult, super realistic tracks, and I forget that there's another 99% of the community are just very casual players that want to just hop on the game and have some fun and hit things really, really quickly. So I can fully see why people really enjoy these sorts of tracks, and again, it's why a lot of the stock tracks, for example, the Forest and Winchester, and even some of the modded tracks like Walnut or Farm 14, tracks where, to be fair, a lot of time you can just tape down your right trigger and just steer, but that's all you have to do. I see why they get a lot of love and a lot of attention, because they are fun from time to time, don't get me wrong, and I definitely think I should have followed Mr. Trojan's advice on this one and gone for a super high road, because you can see how flat the corners are, but the very, very small amount of your road that I've put in there, if you imagine that was 5 times as deep as it is now and you actually had a rut to follow, it could be really, really good fun. So I probably will end up putting this in some of my pub lobby streams going forwards. I think it'll be really, really good. Every lap I've overjumped that, I've completely forgot that it's there. I like this bit here, that it's got a little bit of rough to it. Obviously, I've never ridden Dade City IRL, and Mr. Consuming Clouds has said that this is based off of Google images of a track from 2023, so I think it's quite up to date. I actually always like asking this question when I do videos on real tracks. If you've ridden there, IRL, what have they done right, what have they done wrong, and what could be improved? Because I'm a big old advocate of trying to get some constructive criticism for these tracks. I really hate it when people spend time and effort on tracks and people play it and go, oh, it's garbage, it's trash, like, this is horrible, what have you done? Rather than doing that and probably just ruining someone's day that's probably spent quite a lot of time and effort building something, what could they have done better? That's all I want to know. So if you are a Dade City MX regular, or if you're a local, then does this hold up to real life? Is it a good track? How does it just compare to the real version? And what could Mr. of Clouds done better? Because I think at the end of the day, there's no point scaring these track creators off from building more, because then we're never going to get any really good quality free tracks. And I like seeing people progress. The person that comes to my mind the most in terms of track progression from where they started to where they ended up is Higo. If anyone's aware of Higo, he's quite a regular viewer of the channel. I know he might smile ear to ear hearing me say his name. I remember playing some of Higo's very, very first tracks, and I don't think he'll mind me saying some of them are a little bit dull. Sometimes the road was way too overkill, super, super sharp. But he progressed track over track over track, and then he's ended up getting a track on the shop after all of this. So he's progressed from complete beginner to probably one of the more respected track makers in the community, and someone whose tracks I personally look forwards to releasing. Speaking of which, hasn't released anything in a little while. I'm expecting there's something in the works there that I'm waiting on. But we're all about progressing and trying to improve on this channel, and that goes in terms of track creation, that goes in terms of the actual riding. It's been really, really nice to see recently. I've started streaming more. Thank you, ReaperDoc, by the way, for telling me to stream more. I feel like only recently have I really seen the benefits of such. I feel like there's been a lot more new people come into the stream, a lot of people kind of saying thank you because videos have helped them, so on and so forth. I had someone appear on the stream today whilst I was streaming the Thunder Valley Father Dean's race, saying, I've got no idea who you are, I have no idea where MX Bikes is, but this stream has appeared on my YouTube homepage. Oh, hello, Charmander. Okay, that's interesting. He only has one eye as well, that's very odd. This stream's appeared on my For You page, and I really, really like the vibe on it, and I think we've generally got someone that had never seen bikes before, tuned into the stream. We was all having a chilled time, having a ride round, some music going, chatting to each other, and they ended up looking into the game and could potentially buy it. And that's what I really, really love. I love seeing the game grow, I love seeing the community grow, and I have to take a step back myself every now and then, because I know I'm quite a numbers person. Like, sometimes I'll be disappointed with how a video might perform. I mean, sometimes I usually tend to look after a 24-hour period on videos views, and nowadays, even if a video gets like 5,000 views within the first day, I tend to look at it as a failure. Whereas I know if I looked at that exact same video 2 years ago, when I was first starting off, I would be absolutely over the moon. So I feel like we have to look back sometimes to work out where we've come from. And I'm very happy with this community, you know. I mean, sometimes we have to tell some people to chill out, you know, just like behave yourself a little bit, but you're gonna get that no matter where you go. Like, we're all different ages, we're all different backgrounds, we're all different people, different personalities, so on and so forth. And it's just nice that everyone can come together and just play some virtual dirt scooters and just have fun. And I really like it. I'm very proud of what we've built here in such a short amount of time. In terms of the future as well, I'm very, very excited because Mr. 327 has informed me that he's going to be working on the FXR skins over this weekend. So I'll probably end up having it probably at the start of next week, which is really, really exciting. And I'm going to be running the Yamaha for the outdoor season because it just still is the best bike. So for those of you that are sick of seeing the colour blue, I apologise. Hopefully I can be forgiven that it'll be a slightly different setup overall. And it's really odd that it's gone to FXR, because I really genuinely do like the FXR gear this season. There's been some gears that J-Mart has worn that I've just been drooling over. So the fact that I just get to run all that stuff in game now is super, super exciting for me. And I feel like when it comes to FXR, Yamaha's just makes sense. I feel like that is the way to go in terms of colours overall. But I'm super happy. I'll probably do a video as well once all of the gear and the bikes are all sorted, just kind of showing it off. Nothing special, not like a proper, oh my god, look at this, but I'll just kind of make that the main concept of the video. So I'm just riding around with the new stuff. And it's weird for me not having... Well, I still have it on now. I'm running a Muck Creations bike in this video, but it'll be weird not having Muck Creations at the end of my name. Very, very sad times. It's sad to see. But we're moving on to a new era. And one thing that I want to stress, and we can kind of segue this into a completely different topic for a little bit, is I have people every now and then asking, like, how do you get on teams in this game? And first of all, there is no real way of getting onto teams. It's just a case of maybe if you end up in the right place at the right time, if you're playing some online lobbies and there's some people that maybe you end up battling with, having fun with, and then you start talking in Discord, etc. Maybe you join the MX Bikes Discord and you join the voice calls. They're usually quite populated, and find some people and start teams yourself, or you get invited to their teams. There's no website as such where you can kind of look up teams. It doesn't really work that way. One thing that I wanted to say that I think stems to everybody in this game, and it'll help for kind of longevity of enjoying the game and maybe sticking on teams for a lot longer than you normally would, is don't just join a team, A, for the sake of joining a team, or B, as some sort of status, because you want to be on teams essentially with people that you play the game with, like people that you have fun with, people that you talk to on a day-to-day basis. I know that some teams are built just off of fast players, which is fair enough. If you want that reputation of just being a fast team, you can have that. But the team that I was on never reflected who I played with, and it's still not going to reflect who I play with. It's purely a name at the end of the day. The only thing that it does affect is the few letters after your name in game. So just don't get too overwhelmed in it. I know it's quite nice to be given skins and such. Anyone can make skins. Granted, probably not as high quality as some other people can, but the YouTube tutorials are out there to be able to make skins, and I just don't get too wrapped up in it. If you can't get on a team at the end of the day, just run the privateer life. I mean, that's what Charlie's doing. Charlie's enjoying privateer life. He can run whatever gear and bike he wants to on a day-to-day basis. Just goes and on MXB mods, filters by what bike he wants, and bang, pops up with a bunch of skins all the time. So yeah, just a little bit of advice there is try and just find a group of people that you enjoy playing with and let it go from there. Don't get too wrapped up in it. I realised that I've kind of started talking here whilst riding around on this turn track without even introducing what it is. So this is not part of Dade City MX, this is just a generic turn track off in the background. But I like turn tracks now and then, it's nice going back to the basics and trying to go as fast as you can around some tight and twisty corners. If you are someone maybe that struggles with your turning, try and find some tracks that do have turn tracks and mess around with it and just see how it goes. I think overall, this Dade City layout, it's not something that I would play all the time. Don't get me wrong, it would definitely have to be an occasion, like a higher road video or higher road, like public lobby stream. But I can 100% see why so many people really enjoy it and really want me to play it as well. It's a very easy track. You can get steezy over a bunch of jumps. I imagine that it suits two strokes incredibly well. It's fairly pretty as well. I do tend to like the lighter coloured dirt textures, and the grass is nice and green too. And it's not like super bright and oversaturated to the point where it hurts your eyes. And all around, it's just a really nice job. So, Mr. Consuming Clouds, thank you very much for giving this to us, especially going through the effort of giving us 3 different track layouts within the same kind of track overall. And I hope to see you guys online ripping around it. Thank you very much for the suggestion to play it. I do appreciate it. And I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to. I'm going to ask that thing again. Please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.